Good day, everybody. This is Sept with the Sports Inquirer, and we're happy to be joined by Brett Surrency from Georgia State men's soccer. The team was able to earn a 1-0 win a few days ago at Mercer for its season opening victory. Brett, just take me back to that contest and just what the team was able to do well to earn the victory.
Yeah, no, I thought we came out and first and foremost competed. Us and Mercer go back years, and the rivalry is certainly real, and they seem to always bring out the best in us. So I think it was a great opportunity for us, just from a bounce back perspective, to try and come together as a group and as a team. And we put together, I felt like, a pretty good performance, and we're able to score a goal late and ultimately get the win on the road, which I think was great and much needed, and hopefully something that we can use for the future and keep going.
Yeah, George Proctor, your senior captain, defending conference player of the year, he was able to score on a penalty kick in the 75th minute. How valuable was it to have him back on the field? He missed the season opener against North Florida due to suspension from a red card the previous year. But how valuable was it to have him back on the field? And I don't know too many defenders that take penalty kicks for a team with full of midfielders and forwards. But what about his performance and him taking that penalty kick?
Yeah, no, I thought George played really well. He's been playing really well. Obviously, it was unfortunate you couldn't play in the opening game against UNF because of the mentioned suspension from last year. But yeah, I thought he had a really strong game. He's a very emotional leader and captain for us, and the guys tend to fall in line with that. In a very positive manner. So I think his energy was big on the day, and we knew it was important. George knew it was important for us to respond to the loss on Thursday, and the fact that we were able to is certainly a credit to the group, and I think a credit to his leadership as well too. In terms of the penalty kick, he's taken them for the last couple of years. I'm a pretty staunch believer, and if you have the confidence to go up there and take it, then that's a really big part of it. And he's got the confidence and the ability, so usually it works out in his favor and in our favor.
Do you let the teammates? Do you let the team decide that? Do you veto any suggestions as a coach, or do you kind of let the guys, the players, decide who takes the penalty kicks in that type of situation?
Yeah, I think at this point it's pretty unspoken that George will take it if he's on the field, and more times than not he's on the field. So it kind of just initially started through training and just practice and reps through it, and George kind of pushed himself to the forefront. And like I said before, I'm not a huge you have to do it kind of guy. I want the guys to sort of take the leadership element and, again, the confidence in taking it, and once they do that, it sort of decides itself, and then we just keep rolling with that. And that's kind of how it happened with George, and here we are a couple of years later, and he's still taking them.
Yeah, and defensively, the team was able to limit Mercer to only one shot on goal, and Gunther Rankenberg was able to make a save to preserve the clean sheet. What about the defensive effort of being able to limit Mercer's offensive opportunities?
Yeah, no, I think we have a really strong group back there this year. We've got some experience with Ramon, with Hendo, with obviously George, Logan, Lukey, Andrew Miller-Bell's played really well for us so far this year, and then, as you mentioned, Gunther. So it's a collective effort for us defensively, but obviously those are kind of the leaders and the voices from the back. But yeah, I mean, it's been a little bit of a struggle, I think, early on for us to score some goals, a little more than it has been in years past. So if we're able to be pretty staunch defensively and just put one away, even if it's a penalty kick, as long as they're not scoring, then we're not losing. So we pride ourselves on those clean sheets, and hopefully that's something that we can see more and more as the season unfolds.
Yeah, in that Mercer contest, you're able to outshoot the Bears 13-6 in shots overall, including 7-1 in shots on goal. Is there just a fact of, and you've only scored one goal in your loss to North Florida? Is it just a fact of the goals not going in? Are you putting yourselves in good positions to score and it's just not happening? Or is it something that you need to work on just to increase the offensive output?
I think it's probably a little bit of both. I thought we were in better positions than we were against UNF, so that's a positive. Had the ball in some dangerous areas. But at the same time too, I'm a big believer that, the attacking side of things is the hardest one to come as the season begins. So I think we'll keep working on it, and we don't want to put too much pressure on the fact that, we haven't scored as many goals as we would like. But we have enough talented players that can score goals. So, we're a believer that it will come. Of course, it's things that we continue to work on consistently. We did it this morning in training as well too. So just getting those guys loads of reps and some functional training, I think, will work wonders, and increases the sharpness, increases the confidence, and then the hope from there is just to translate it to the game.
You had a long layoff in the off season with the schedule and everything that went on. Didn't have a traditional spring and summer session. Just how's the team doing physically and mentally through these first two matches, because they were off for that extended period of time?
Yeah, I don't know that we factored that in as much as maybe it is a big deal as it was, I think, early in the season. And I think we're knocking some of that rust off. But when you lose some guys, and we did from the fall, typically in the spring you have guys have a little bit more time to get acclimated to their role in the spring, and even if it is through friendlies, which is what we traditionally get, we weren't able to get that. And while we weren't able to get that, other teams were playing a pretty large modified season in the spring as well too. So yeah, maybe it's taken us a little bit longer than than it usually would, and maybe a little bit longer than some of the other programs. But that's not an excuse for us. We've been back long enough, and we'll continue to work at it, and continue to get sharper. And I don't know that that's a factor necessarily anymore at this point. Maybe again, it took us a little bit longer to get going, just because of the spring. But it's not something that we'll use as an excuse by any means.
Yeah, you get right back at it in a few days against USC Upstate. You travel up to South Carolina for that contest. You mentioned you're back in training, getting the team ready. Just what are you focusing on to get better at, improve on, to make that progression through this portion of the regular season?
Yeah, I mean, yesterday was all about just the recovery from Sunday night. So we came in with our strength coach, and the guys went through a lot of just moving around at slow paces and a lot of stretching, and just sort of shaking out what was a really heavy field at Mercer because of some rain, and so some heavy legs naturally on Monday. And today was just about a lot of touches and some functional work as well too. We'll take tomorrow off, and then Thursday, Friday be back at it and prep for what will be a good Upstate team. They've played two really good ACC teams to start the season, and are really talented. And for us, it's just continuing to develop. We've got some things that we're consistently improving at, but as the season goes along, we feel like we should keep getting sharper in some additional areas, and I feel like we will. I feel like we have. So Upstate will be another test towards that, and an exciting one for us against a good team, and hopefully we can show well.